Hello there, everybody, and welcome to Dicing with Death. How's it going, Ryan?
It is going well. How's it going with Leon slash Maldris?
He's so ready to be level 2/3, level 2 fighter, level 3 wizard.
We leveled you up last time, didn't we?
We did, but we didn't roll for spell learning at level 3. We rolled for spell learning at level 2.
That's good. I guess we can take it like day by day here in Ashenholt, because this is kind of
Cool. So for those of you on YouTube that didn't catch the pre-stream, we are going to stop doing intros and like, what have you been up to and blah, blah, blah. We're just going to do that stuff before the live show. So you guys aren't going to be able to catch up with us personally just by watching the VODs. But I think for you YouTubers, mostly you binge this stuff. So that's probably a good change.
Yeah, I imagine this being better for you. Yeah, but I guess we probably should have explained the first time we went right in before we got him trained. But yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. So
if you wanna hear about Ryan and Neal's lives, tune into Twitch chat. We're gonna jump right into gameplay.
Yep. And maybe a quick recap.
Yep, exactly. So, do you want to do that? Should I do that? I've already kind of started to set the scene.
I'll give it a shot. So Leon started at the Druidic Circle. He had already walked through and had been all mystical and stuff. And he had talked to like a fox guy about helping. Or he talked to a fox guy last session about getting out of there and going somewhere else, and the fox guy helping him, I believe. Is that how we started last session? Or was that the session before last?
Yeah, we picked up last session at this moon perk.
Yes, right there.
Moon. I'm kind of expecting Leon to step through and journey to whatever lies beyond. And then Leon had second thoughts and turned around and walked back into the real world. But not before interacting with a couple of Feyan creatures.
Yeah.
Right? There was a silver fox, and there were a couple of other
interesting things out there.
Interesting animals and a man, Fano.
Right. But instead, Leon came back.
He's
trained with the fox for a little bit, but it didn't go well. He failed his learning spell, so he lied to the fox, cheated him, and left him. You're getting characters mixed up. Right? The fox was one of the druids, right?
And then there was a I don't know, a crazy man in the woods, Fano, right? Who taught
we're getting
you a few anything. Can you not hear me?
No,
everything
seems
seems
out
fine
a little
from my
bit.
end.
Yeah, there's just momentary bits of lag. I've actually been having internet issues.
Yeah, I'm getting the impression. I think it's on your end because everything seems smooth over here, but it sounds like you're talking over me a lot, which leads me to believe you can't. Like you can't hear what I'm saying.
Yeah, there are moments where it seems like
second.
You're dropping out, but you're not. I don't know. Tech problems as always. What did In Control used to say? Can you hear me? Technology is the vehicle of esports or something like that.
And our vehicle's all rusted out with
it sometimes falls
janky
apart.
Copper wheels. I don't think it's like my mic. If you guys don't care if I've got a giant silver phallus in front of my face, I can get right up on the microphone.
I think they're talking about.
I think it's a connection thing.
Yeah. So this is fine. So
it's smooth at this point. Can you hear me at this point?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't train with you had a brief conversation, I think, with the fox who transformed in front of you. So the fox turned out to be one of the druids.
But he also tried to teach me his own language, and I failed to learn some stuff through.
No, you're getting the encounters mixed up. I think.
I came back with the fox, dude. Recap. Right? And he tried. Oh wait, no. Fano was the guy I came back with. Right. I abandoned the fox, and I talked to Fano, who was sitting on top of the stones. And then we came back through the plane, through the portal. Right, not the fox.
Yeah, there was a kooky trickster by the name of Fano who said he had a stash of gold or something like that he was leading you to. Or maybe he asked for your gold.
I was offering him my gold.
Right? You offered him your gold in exchange for teaching the spell, and you failed. Or did you not even roll? He tried to teach you some runic language, and
I failed to.
But
learn
he clearly had spell.
Yeah, he had some sort of kooky magic powers, but it wasn't what I was looking for.
Voice, and he was painting, or he was etching or whatever on the stone, and it would disappear.
Yeah. Anyway, we didn't learn the spell.
So Fana was you left the fox behind after a minute or two. Fana was your would be teacher who you left. He went off in search of some pie for dinner, and you told him you'd meet him at the stone, and you took off.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You headed south. You came across an old logging camp.
Yes.
At which some siege engines were being constructed.
Yes.
This is in the woods west of Ashenholt.
Yes, and it looked like it was
a gully on
the bastards' men who were building these siege engines.
That sounds
that was
like
my impression.
That's what you were told. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we stayed with them for a single night or something. Took off.
Yeah.
Made our way into Ashenholt, where we've been resting in an inn for a couple of days while learning spells.
That was your plan. I guess you're saying you haven't rolled those spell check slots.
Right, not for the new stuff. For level 3 stuff.
Correct. Cool.
Right.
So we can get some town music and sort that stuff out. I believe you pulled into the first roadside inn in Ashenholt. I think we called it the Roasted Turnip.
Yes.
I've done my homework for once. I ate some turnips between the last time we played and this time we played.
Nice.
Have you done your homework, Neal? When was the last time you ate a turnip?
I don't know if I've ever actually eaten a turnip. I can't remember consuming one, but I would be surprised if I hadn't eaten one before.
I'd rather have it be this fantasy root that Leon is chomping down on. And I think you already shelled out money for a couple of days in the inn, right?
Yes.
For a room.
Yes.
A couple of days.
I think I shelled out a few gold pieces. And I have 2 spells to learn. So I just want to sit down, bunker up in my room, and learn some spells. Learn some magic here or there.
This can be done. At least we'll take it one day at a time.
Okay.
Do you remember what time of day you came into town? I think you came in like midday, right? So you'll still have that first day. Like you spent a couple of hours sort of trudging through the trees and gullies to get into town from the logging camp.
I have a feeling that I already rolled once to learn spells. I rolled like at the end of second level. Do you have any?
And now you're 3rd level,
right.
So you can. I think you can re-roll everything you've ever failed, and you can. I don't think we did any spell rolling last time, right? And you can now get 2nd level spells.
I think I learned Taunt last time during doing the 2nd level spell research. If you look in the rolls, there's
Taunt 2nd level spell. I guess we did roll a couple of things.
That was an intelligence check. That's a
and then 2 D100s. You learned 2 spells.
I tried to learn one, and I learned Taunt, and I failed to learn Read Magic. I think it was. Oh, no.
That sounds wrong. What's your base chance to learn? What is
75,
but
then it's minus 25 for non-geomancer spells.
Why don't you tell us what... I mean, up until last episode, there were only 2 spells in your spell list. You had Fist of Stone and
Shocking Grasp.
Shocking Grasp.
Now I have Fist of Stone, Shocking Grasp, and Taunt.
Okay.
So I must have learned Taunt and failed to learn Read Magic and Chill Touch.
Failed Read Magic again?
Right. But now we're doing 3rd level spells, so... Oh, maybe that's what it was. Maybe I tried to learn Taunt and Chill Touch.
I let you roll... Did I let you roll before level up? Was that what I was doing?
You let me roll the Read Magic back when we were at the Stones with Fano. And then I tried Chill Touch and Taunt when we got to the inn. I failed Chill Touch and I got Taunt. That's what happened.
Do you have Read Magic on your spell list?
It's on the list, but I haven't learned it yet. Like, it's in the book, but I haven't learned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And now that you've leveled up, you can relearn. You can now here in this
we can try it again.
Cavern. Yes. You can try it again, and that's what I assume that's what you're doing the first day.
That is what I'm doing the first day. I need a 50 or lower on a D100.
That's going to be difficult for you.
It's so being a problem for me.
Welcome to level 3. Unfortunately, because you don't know read magic, you probably don't have any way to get any new spells until you level up again. Short of finding another read magic scroll or researching a spell yourself, I think we're pretty much...
I still can try and learn Chill Touch again.
Correct. Yeah.
But that's it. So let's try that. That's again a 50 or lower on a D100. Yes. Okay.
Do learn Chill Touch. And I didn't realize until Frozen Frontier the other day that Chill Touch has a duration. Like I thought it was like Shocking Grasp, where you had you had a couple rounds to discharge it, but you only got the one Chill Touch. No, Chill Touch is
it's ongoing.
Ongoing, and I bet when you got more spell slots, you could have 2 going at a time. Ooh. Right? You could have one hand stone, one hand chilled, and like be dual punching.
You couldn't chill your stone hand though.
I think I'd allow that. I was thinking one hand of each, but one hand that's a frozen fist of stone.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use your 3rd level spell slots for lower level slots. I'll allow that. And you can use your 3rd level. You're a geomancer, right?
Right. So
you can memorize 2 free fist of stones. Well, not 2 free. You can memorize 2 fists of stones and 3.
First level spells.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I guess that's 2 days.
That's 2 days. Are you sticking to your room?
For these 2 days, definitely.
And I think you had food sent up to you.
Yeah.
How are you playing this off? So you're going to be interacting with some kind of like servant person.
Right.
At least insofar as they're leaving food outside your door and taking your dishes. I mean, is that basically what you want to do?
Yeah, Leon wants to shutter himself away and kind of like pretend like the party outside and all the boisterous people and the music aren't really happening, and wants to he doesn't want to be seen, first off, because he knows he's a wanted man, both by the Goldsmiths Union and by Fano, who's probably pissed at him. And I think Leon's like developing this paranoia around him.
Well,
he's kind of like jumping at shadows almost, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's not for nothing. I'd like you to roll at least one sort of check. The big thing I'm concerned with is how you appear to the staff of this establishment. Do you recall what excuse you gave to the innkeep on your way into town?
I didn't. I just said I wanted to be left alone.
I feel like I remember you slipping something like, I need to study for a couple of days or something like that.
Oh, maybe. I don't remember.
And then you shut yourself in your room. So I think I want you to roll. I think I want you to fail another charisma check for me.
Oh, thank you.
And I wasn't sure whether to bring. Yeah, I meant to have had more time before this, going live to discuss this stuff with you. But I did have an idea for playing with skill challenges.
Okay.
But maybe we'll talk about implementing later. But I think for now you can just
charisma check to see if I can pass off just being a normal person that's locked themselves away instead of a renegade wizard.
Basically what I'm looking for, right? Because that's potentially suspicious activity, right? Wizard, like,
sure,
sorcery is outlawed.
Someone shutting themselves in an in-room for days on end is weird.
So maybe this is because I feel like you said like I need to hit the books for a couple of days or something like that. Yeah,
right. It's very possible.
Yeah. Just so roll a charisma check for me. No, so I think you've garnered the suspicions of the innkeep and the staff. It's only been 2 days, but you've basically you showed up, you paid in advance, and then you shut yourself in your room.
Right.
I think you like a serving girl catches a glimpse of your dark room with maybe your book open on the bed as she's changing, collecting her dishes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Leon, as paranoid as he is also fairly focused. I don't want to say single-minded, but very focused on his work. So he, brings a serving girl in, trusts her that she's not an enemy, but doesn't necessarily quite realize.
I don't even think she wouldn't come into your room. No,
Okay, but open the door, hand her some dishes without really worrying about what she might see, because in his mind, she's just like random serving girl. She's not a threat.
Yeah, she shakes nervously and fumbles to swap trays with you. Swap your dishes from breakfast for lunch.
Right.
Avoids eye contact and shies away. But you see no one else for those 2 days. What other? Yeah, I think that's probably good. What is your game plan? I mean, you said you're wanted. Do you want to elaborate on which of those threats you're concerned about, or if you're going to do anything about them, or if you have a?
So, I am concerned about these threats, especially about the Goldsmiths Union. Leon's a little worried about Fano, but at the same time, he knows that Fano is a druid and will avoid civilization, so he feels like as long as he stays in town, he's safe from Fano, but in town, he's got to worry about the Goldsmiths Union. And one of the things that Leon has been wanting to do is find a way off this island. So he either wants to get in good with the Bastard of Ashenholt's men, and then somehow slip off the island that way, or see if he can't just find a port and take off, leaving the island behind eventually. But he doesn't know he doesn't know if he could sneak off the island without the Goldsmiths Union knowing on his own. He might need the Bastard of Ashenholt's help to do that. Not his help directly, but the help of his organization and his people. So
Leon would know that they're called the Southern Isles. So you imagine if it's an island, there's got to be an ocean on the other side of it. So there's likely water south somewhere. Whether you could, whether it's a port, you could pay ferry and escape unnoticed by the Union.
Yeah.
A known unknown. Speaking of the Bastard's men, you've seen a couple of his Crimson Guards in and around in the city on your way in, but not for 2 days or whatever that you've been holed up. And then you were told at least that the logging camp belonged to, or that a red cloak would check in on them periodically, or something. Right. They were just a bunch of lumberjacks or whatever, but they tried to get you out of there quickly with the excuse being that the red cloaks.
So I've got two paths laid out before me. The first path is head to the closest dockyard, closest shipyard, closest dock, port, whatever, and try and book passage off the island. And the other is to make friends within this organization. But I think maybe I should check up and see if I can't get out on my own first before I start trying to become a part of this organization and then abandon that organization and have more people that I've lied to and betrayed. Maybe I would be best served going down to the ships, because even then, if I fail and I don't think I can get a ship off, I can still go back and use the other as a backup strategy. So Leon will exit his room after, I think, 4 days in there. Something like 4 days.
Is it that long?
I tried to learn 4 spells.
Okay.
So
4
a
days,
day
I
per
guess.
spell-ish, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was only 3 days. I think if all you're doing is sleeping and learning spells, you can probably do
Yeah.
I don't know if I would let this go long term, but a binge session of 4 spells in 3 days seems reasonable.
That seems fair.
I don't remember what you paid up front, but
yeah. So I think
you head down in the common room. I don't even think you go relatively unnoticed in the common room, or perhaps you're avoided. Whether the staff doesn't necessarily recognize you because they haven't seen you outside of your room in 3 days, or
Right. So I will head over to whoever's at the bar or at the desk, some employee of this tavern that I can speak to.
Yeah. You can find the portly woman who sold you the room.
Good evening, morning, afternoon, ma'am. Like checks the sky outside, trying to gauge what time of day it is. Even
cracks of sunlight are coming in under the door and streaming in through a kitchen window. Good day. Can I get you an ale? Turnip pie?
No, thank you.
Nods. Cleaning a glass.
Do you know where the closest port of call might be?
Well, used to be that was Seagate. These days, I don't know how easy it is to make way north.
Well, then maybe there's a port to the south.
Perhaps.
Leon looks at her expectantly and prompts her again. Is there a port to the south?
She nods slowly. Let me consult my map. Nay, nothing large. Perhaps a few fishing boats.
Nothing that would leave the island? Take me somewhere else?
She looks at you quizzically. Ship can leave the island. Actually, west of here, there is a port. I don't have it named. We can just call it Westport.
Westport, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's still safe.
What road leads
Contested
to Westport?
territory. There's not really a road. If you got coin, best way would be to take a ferry downstream and across the loch, and then probably charter another ferry on the other side to take you all the way downstream to the ocean.
I will fish around and pull out.
Alternately, you can travel overland, but the woods in between ain't too friendly.
I'll
Perhaps
pull out
around
a handful of copper coins and splash them on the counter for her. Give her a curt nod and leave her mid-sentence.
Okay.
And head out into the city streets.
Yeah. You step into the bustle of Ashenholt. The mood seems a mite bit dour. But business continues as usual. Yeah, the peasants keep their heads down. Their movement's quick. They go about their business, and perhaps you hear a bit fewer pleasantries than you'd expect.
Sure.
Bustling town. The town itself sits on the slopes of a great hill. You can see the 4-story keep towering above you at the very top.
Mm-hmm.
And around,
she said, take a boat to towards the ocean, past the locks. Now that I'm looking at this map, I'm remembering that there are 2 streams, one that heads north, one that heads south. Did I have an idea of which one she was referring to?
Roll an intelligence check.
I can do that. That's something Leon can do. No, it's not. Okay.
You got no idea. You do have a direction sense?
Nope. But
nope.
I have an unused proficiency slot, actually.
Okay.
But I do know that Ashlock is to the north. So if she was talking about the locks, I'm just going to say Leon puts thinks that north is the way that she was talking about. I don't know if that actually is, but I think to play off that one, it's just gonna be like, I don't know where she was talking about, but she said the word lock, and Ashlock has lock in the name. It's probably in that direction. And just kind of like shrugs off the notion.
Yeah, I think with that one, you're not able to sort out north from south, is what it is. Like it's a gloomy day in the shadows of Ashenhold Keep. It's hazy. You can't examine the sun is like it's a vague glow behind the woods, and you've actually got there's woods on either side of the hill. Like you can't. I mean, you've been inside for 3 days. You can't remember which way you came into town. Presumably, you could ask directions or pick a direction and start walking. But yeah, so there's a hill with a keep on the top of it. There's a forest up one side of the hill. There's like a gully and another forest on the other side, and then a road both ways. Sure. And you can't remember which way you came in down the road. I'm
gonna go look for a deli.
A deli.
I'm gonna go buy a sandwich.
And seems like a thing. Yeah, you can get or
I can go to a bakery and get like a sweet roll or something. I don't care.
Do you go down the hill or I'm just down the hill out of town or against or deeper into the city?
I'll start walking deeper into the city.
Okay.
But I will also stop off at the first deli or butcher shop or bakery or confectionery, like some place where you can just purchase something to eat and then have a quick conversation with the person I'm buying the thing from.
So you head up the hill towards the city proper. Most of the commerce is constrained to a stretch of cobbled streets nearest the walls of the keep itself. There's a 10-foot stone wall that surrounds the keep within, and the street butts up against it, and that's where much of the commerce occurs. There's a couple of shops. You find a delicatessen, like a little open air. It's got like a tent set out or whatever, selling rolls out front of the keep, or like on that strip.
All right. Well, I will head over to the strip and look delicious. Look hungrily at the snacks available.
Yep. You can buy a sandwich for 2 copper.
That's what I go do.
And the street is lined with basically any shop you would need. There's blacksmiths, tailors, a couple of pubs, and a preponderance of goldsmith establishments, which you would recognize immediately as what's the word for them? Like fronts, like fake, fake fronts, right?
Yeah, fronts. I do my best to avoid those, and I'll go up to the sandwich shop and kind of look at whatever, if they have sandwiches on display. I don't know how medieval times do this sort of thing.
I have he's got like little brioche buns that he's like slicing open and slathering with mayonnaise and shoving with meats and
give me a meat,
vegetables. Give me a meat.
Give me a meat.
Yeah. So you trade your copper for some food.
Which way to the locks? I say while I hand him copper.
Ashlock's still another. Oh damn! I changed the page. Insert however many days Ashlock is. Ashlock's still another good 2 days walk. If you're lucky, you might be able to catch a ferry. And he sort of points you.
Where's the ferry?
Points you towards Ashlock, or points you towards the lock, which you can recognize as north, and you get your bearings.
Okay. I slide him the copper coins and gobble down my food, letting the meat juices run down my face. You said there was a tailor nearby?
Yeah, there's a tailor on.
I go to the tailor and
so
use my existing clothes to mop up the grease from the meat sandwich. I'm going to buy some new clothes, so I'm just going to use them as napkins.
Yeah.
And,
the nearest couple of dozen buildings to the gates of the keep seem to all be various commercial establishments, merchants. So
Perfect.
you can with some competition. So you can buy pretty much anything you would deign to buy at fair market rate.
Perfect. So I will go into the tailor's shop, and let's look at how big Leon is. He's 5'10", 175 pounds. So he's fairly average build. He's kind of low on the con side, pretty good on the strength side. So I think he's got like, decent muscle mass and probably not a lot of extra weight on him. Maybe he's a scrawny person, but who just happens to be kind of strong from all of the physical activity that he does.
What was your strength?
15. That's pretty good.
So you're strong.
Yeah.
What did you say your height and weight was?
5'10", 175 pounds. So he's probably a fairly lean figure. I'm guessing with that much
and
strength.
Probably not as imposing. Yeah, 5 charisma, definitely not as imposing as he is. I think he's average. He blends in, but you're a pugilist.
Yeah.
A boxer, right?
Yeah.
So little scrapper, like you don't.
A lightweight boxer. Yeah. Maybe middleweight boxer.
So what do you? I imagine this is like the little mini game pops up where you've got your character and you can like swap out his clothes.
Yeah, and I like wipe the grease off on my shirt and kind of look at the tailor in the face and go, "I need new clothes."
Are you looking for a disguise, or are you just like?
My clothes are tattered. I got into a fight with a dog. I've had to probably shred them for this or that. There's probably blood stains on them, and now I've just been dripping grease all over them. It's time to replace my traveling clothes.
Cool. You can buy whatever you want to buy.
Yeah. So Leon is not a stylistic person. He's not really looking to dress in a high fashion. But he also wants to change his style, so if people he knows are looking for him, they'll be less likely to spot him. So Leon's gonna go for some really simple, just almost friar-like clothing. He's gonna get a brown robe with a rope belt and some sandals or something like that. Maybe not sandals, because he's still going to want to be able to move well. So maybe he'll keep his boots, but he'll get some pretty generic brown robes and tied with a crappy hempen rope.
Sure, you can buy a robe for 9 silver. I don't think you can. I don't think.
Can it come with a belt?
I don't think it will. You can buy a belt. You can't. And I guess you could go down the street and buy some rope to tie it with. The tailor is not going to have this sad friar outfit.
All right.
You can find a common brown robe.
Okay. Well, I'll pay him the 9 silver for the robe,
and then go buy yourself a rope.
Yeah, I'm going to need what's the circumference of a person? The circumference of a waist. If my pants are 34 inches, that doesn't mean 34 inches
3 feet of rope
round,
on
right?
So
is that what a pant measurement is? Is the circumference of your hip, of your waist?
More or less, but they fudge the numbers to make you, I don't know, for marketing purposes. So I think it might be slightly smaller.
So a 34-inch waist doesn't actually mean
it should be a 34-inch waist, but I think if you're going American sizes, they'll sell you a 34, even if it's actually would fit a 36-inch waist. So that you think you're slimmer than you are. I don't know. So it's not. It varies from brand to brand.
Sure.
Blah, blah, blah.
So
but
I need
yes.
So I need
you need 3 feet of, maybe 4 feet.
I need a little bit more to make a knot at the end. So I'll get 4 feet of rope.
So it's a gold per 50 feet. What is that per foot?
50th of a gold is 2 copper.
Cool. So 2 copper for
a foot.
Oh, 2
So
copper
I
per
need
foot. 8
4
copper.
feet, so 8 copper.
And you leave your what kind of boots did you have?
I'm
before?
keeping my boots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I had normal, just walking around, normal boots. So
Did you pay
I
any money for ever?
No, I was just like doing normal starting clothes.
Okay,
So,
so then you probably just have a pair of like shoes.
All right, well then I will switch out my shoes for actual boots. I don't know how much they cost.
Boots cost gold. Gold for soft boots.
Soft
Whatever
boots?
that means.
What about hard boots?
That doesn't exist. That's fine. It's a gold for boots is fine.
All right, I pay a gold
and
for
do
boots.
the full on friar outfit.
And you know, I've been
isn't
doing a
Frozen
lot
Frontier,
of outdoor
but
traveling. So I
Yeah.
also want to get myself a hat to go with this, like a wide brimmed hat.
like a fedora.
No, not a fedora.
Like a super lame wide brimmed farmer's hat. Yeah, I think you've got to go. You're making several stops up and down the street to find these oddities. Like I think you visit a couple of. You visit a tailor to get the robe, and then you go to a general store to get the rope. And you got to find like a super lame like farming supply store to get the hat that meets your specifications.
I'm sending you the hat in Zoom that I'm buying.
It's a cap hat. It's for 1 silver. Sure, 1 silver for your hat.
All right, I'll pay out the silver for my hat as well. Did you see the hat that I sent you?
Yeah, I did. Did you show it chat?
Yeah, chat sees it.
So lame. I love it.
It's perfect. Then just like brown robes. I don't have a good picture for brown robes, but whatevers. So that's Leon, the pseudo wizard. Mm-hmm. He's got robes and a hat, but they're not quite the proper wizard robes and hat yet.
And a backpack.
Yeah.
While you're wandering around Ashenholt doing your shopping, an inn by the name of the Leaping Fox catches your eye.
I look at the inn, gaze at it, wondering why it's catching my eye.
Yeah, it's a couple blocks from the city walls, but it's an inn like any other. But the name catch and like you see there's a fox jumping on the sign, but this one's red. Maybe it's just an interesting coincidence, or maybe you're not the only one who's seen the fox of the wood.
Yeah. Well, Leon is bordering on like he's getting paranoid about everything around him. It's
So do you? So once you've done your shopping, do you make your way north out of town? Is that your plan?
I wanted to go. Someone said something about a ferry, and he pointed north.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna head to the wall on that side of town looking for a ferry.
If you recall, Ashenholt is not a walled city, so the wall you have not been in. So the wall is only around the keep,
right,
which you have not been inside. There was crude fortifications put up next to the path coming into town. So there was like a palisade wall set up to slow so there's like 2 palisade wall with an opening for the path, and then another palisade wall behind it to prevent cavalry from charging straight up the hill or what have you.
Right.
I don't know, crude fortifications that have been thrown up in the last year. It was relatively fresh wood. And you can head back out that way north. The sandwich dealer reminded you which way north was, and you see things around you look familiar. And you walk past the roasting turnip again, and you make your way back to the palisade fortifications leading outside of town. But there's no wall, there's no gate. You're able to walk freely. There's red cloaks patrolling the streets and standing guard at the wall, but you're able to walk past them without a second glance. You do notice something that you did miss on your way into town.
Oh.
On the way out of town, so coming from this side, you can see there's a notice board set up near that palisade wall. On it are various, like decrees from the Duke, as well as wanted posters and corresponding rewards. And
decrees
sure enough,
from the Duke of Seagate?
Sorry, the Baron of Ashenholt. Baron of Ashenholt.
As well as
the
wanted
Lord of
posters.
Wanted posters. And sure enough, there is a crude sketch of Leon's
Shit.
mug. It appears information leading to your whereabouts. It says, wanted the pugilist, I guess, as like an alias for acts of treason against the barony.
Scratch my head against the barony. Oh fuck! Didn't I kill someone in Ashenholt?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. 100 GP reward for information. Blah 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 blah. Yeah.
Well, he shrugs, kind of tilts his hat a little bit lower, and goes for the locks. Goes for the ferry.
Yeah. It's a little, so it's past this palisade. And so it's another half hour or so walk down the mountainside, but there's a little ferry, like a dock, a small dock off the side of the road. Still good halfway down the hillside. You can see the dirt road sort of curving betwixt river and forest out before you. You'll recall Glenberg would be about a day's walk, you'd guess, north this direction along the road.
Okay.
That's the town you spent a couple days in, and did your hunting with the two brothers, blah blah blah. But it appears you can rent a ferry and potentially speed up travel time.
I want to ask how much where the ferry will take me and how to get to the ocean and a port from the ferry. So, I guess Leon just goes, how much for the ferry?
Are such things listed? I think the ferry is, we'll say 5 silver to Ashlock. Okay. If you want to get to sea, your best bet is going to be to take that ferry and then cross the lake and get another ferry. And they can set you up with that. So it'll be 5 silver to get you to the lake, and then presumably another ferry or two.
I pull up the last of my silver coins and hand it over to him. It is 5 silver coins, and then it's kind of and hop aboard the ferry.
Dong dong. Okay. You wait some hour or so. It gets moving around midday. With a few other passengers. It's a large, it's two-storied vessel with like a steam.
This is like a real riverboat.
Yeah. I don't think it's powered in any way, though. How would you...
Oh, I'm sure it's rowed. Most boats were rowed for the vast majority of human civilization.
Yeah.
Rowing is the most reliable and most powerful form of ocean-going transportation.
So there's 2 floors and then a below deck where the crew's sort of housed, and like a half level, like a sunken captain's whatever on the back of the boat. Is there
a look around? I mean, this is a riverboat. Is there any gambling going on the riverboat? Leon starts looking around for like a bar on the boat or a card game going down.
Yeah, you can find a game of dice and maybe like. Yeah, I don't think there's not like a bar, but you can. We can get you some drinks from one of the gamers. And the boat that pulls off. Is it a ship boat? I don't know. The ferry pulls off. There are. I think there's only 12 oars, so 6 on either side, and they're only going for like the first bit, and to get you out of port, because it seems like you're basically going downhill.
So going with
downstream.
The flow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Leon, he's seen a lot of card games in his time. He used to be an enforcer, right? He's used to dealing with this sort of crowd. This is exactly his sort of crowd. I don't have a gaming proficiency, but he's still gonna sit down and play a few games. Not really trying to make any money, but just kind of feeling at home for the first time in a long time. Play a few hands of this, a few hands of that. I'm not too concerned with the outcome, but I will stop if I start losing. If I lose more than 8 gold pieces.
Okay. Have we maybe now? Should we take breaks on the half hours?
Sure.
So I'm thinking maybe we'll take a break and we'll pick up with this boat ride.
Sounds good. We'll see you guys on the other side of our break. Bye bye.